Hello everyone and welcome back to this brand new video. Now for today we're going to be playing an up and rising and popular deck on ladder at least, Sultai Sacrifice. And no, you didn't hear me wrong, and I said it correctly, Sultai Sacrifice. Now if you take a look at this deck, the main reason we're splashing blue is to have access to Uro and to have access to Aether Gust and Negate in the sideboard. Now this is not a list I made up my own, it's a list I found on Twitter and I thought we should try it, so this is the deck. Now, mostly it just operates as a Drowned Sacrifice deck, so you're playing Gilded Goose, Cauldron Familiar, which is Oven, which are all kind of food providers, and you use Trail of Crumbs to kind of use that food advantage and use these Cauldron Familiar loops to kind of gain card advantage. Now beyond that, the deck is pretty general. Now the cute addition is the addition of Nissa, which is not something the other Drowned Sacrifice deck plays, and it's been doing pretty well actually. I've been testing this deck a bit and it was playing pretty well. And having access to Vraska is also interesting, especially that Vraska pairs very well with most of our deck, but it pairs super well with Gilded Goose because you get to make a Gilded Goose token every single turn. So you pay 2 mana, you make a food token, then you use Vraska to sacrifice that token, gain 1 life and draw a card. So 2 mana, draw a card, gain 1 life is not that bad, especially when you can do it recursively. And that's mostly it for the deck. Beyond that, we're playing 2 Thoughtseize, we're playing 2 Fatal Push. Fatal Push is very nice in this deck because it's very easy to trigger Revolt in this kind of deck, because we can just sacrifice Cauldron Familiar, which is Oven, just put it, then trigger Revolt, or like if you're in a pinch, we can always sacrifice a food token to then just have access to Revolt to just kill anything. Beyond that, something I want to mention, Gilded Goose, which probably most of you know, but in case a new player is watching me, Gilded Goose says that you can sacrifice a food and add 1 mana of any color. Now you can use that 1 mana to pay for the Trail of Crumbs trigger, just because Gilded Goose is gonna sack a food as part of the cost. So now, Trail of Crumbs triggers, because it says when you sacrifice a food you can pay 1, and now you have the 1 mana to pay using Gilded Goose, so that's something that you should keep in mind. I felt it's a bit weird to have Woe Strider and Uro in the same deck, because you know this is an escape card and this is also an escape card, but Uro has been playing very well and most of the time I'm not even escaping Strider. Maelstrom Pulse is very interesting, but something that I wanted to ensure that you don't do, because multiple opponents against me did that. Maelstrom Pulse targeting Witch's Oven doesn't only blow up your Witch's Oven, doesn't only blow up your opponent's Witch's Oven, it also blows up yours. So make sure not to fall for that trick. And actually make sure not to target anything that you also have on the board, because that will destroy yours unless you really don't mind them getting destroyed. Beyond that, we have one of Bolas Citadel that we can easily fetch for Trail of Crumbs. Mostly all of this deck can be fetched for using Trail of Crumbs, the exception being Maelstrom Pulse, Thoughtseize and Fatal Push. And for our land base, pretty generic. Island, Castle Locthwain has been doing a lot of work in this deck. Swamp, Forest. No one replied to me yesterday about which lands do they rather have, the Bob Ross lands, the full art lands, so I'm going to go with the Bob Ross lands for now. Drowned Catacomb, 4 Overgrown Tomb, 4 Breeding Pool. The Triomes, they're very good because you can easily cycle them to have things in the graveyard to escape for Uro. And 4 Fabled Passage that pair well with Fatal Push because they trigger Revolt, and pair well with Uro because they give us cards to escape. Beyond that, for the sideboard, we have more removal in the form of Fatal Push, more hand disruption in the form of Thoughtseize, 1 of Aether Gust, 2 of Negate. Negate has been coming, is very, very relevant, especially because most of the time they have not been expecting it from me for some reason, although I clearly play blue, but most decks are just assuming I play blue only for Uro. Noxious Grasp is a very good card against blue-white control because it kills their Teferi, or against any green deck. You can also kill Nissa, who shakes the world. Wilt is an amazing sideboard card because most of the time people are going to be siding in Grafdigger's Cage against you, so you want a way to deal with that. At the same time, you don't want something to clunk your hand, so like if they're not playing Grafdigger's Cage, you get to cycle that out. Witch's Vengeance as a 1-off to deal with goblins, and 4 Leyline of the Void because sadly we can't play Grafdigger's Cage since it stops our own strategy as well. Now that's gonna be pretty much it for the DeckTech. Is this deck better than Drowned Sacrifice? I have not playtested enough to give you that answer, but so far I am not enjoying it that much. Uro is a good card, not gonna lie, but most decks already have in mind that they want to beat Uro because, you know, we're playing Historic and Sultai is the big dog. So I'm even wondering if splashing blue for Uro is worth it, but I'm just gonna show you the deck because it's a popular deck and I try to show you as many popular decks as possible. Beyond that, before we get into our games, I would like to please ask you to like, comment, and subscribe. Subscribe and commenting being the big ones, because they are the ones that push me with the YouTube algorithm. I've been trying my hardest to keep on doing content for all of you, and that's why I'm doing my hardest. And I want to mention the series that I'm doing, which is 14 Days of Christmas. This is day 1 of 14 Days of Christmas. My friend asked me to play this deck on the channel. He's been a long supporter of the channel, but he preferred to stay anonymous, so I'm not going to name him, but I'm going to just thank him for this deck submission. So far I only have 3 submissions for decks. If you want to submit your deck, you can check out my Discord link in the description down below. Join the Discord server or the Discord family, and then recommend your deck in the channel for that. If you want to help the channel beyond that, beyond just recommending a deck in Discord, beyond just liking, commenting, and subscribing, you can check out my Patreon link in the description down below. And with that, I'll see you in the games. Going into our first game of Sultai Sacrifice, opponent's playing a Yorion deck, which usually we fare well against. Not when we draw this hand, but I mean usually we fare well against them. This hand's kind of worse, but I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do. I think I'm gonna bottom this Strider. It doesn't do that much against them, and I think we're just gonna play this Triome and pass. Opponent's probably playing some kind of Azorius or Esper control strategy. We're gonna play this Drowned Catacomb, play this Trail of Crumbs, and pass back to our opponent. And before continuing this game, guys, I wanted to wish all of you a Merry Christmas. I wanted thank you so much for the continuous support that you've been giving this channel. And if you're not celebrating today, sadly he has a Skyclave to deal with my Trail of Crumbs. And if you're not celebrating today, I just wanted to wish you I'm just wishing you that you're gonna have a nice day. And remember, if you're going through anything, there's always a better day for you, so no worries. You're gonna get through whatever you're going through. And if you ever need someone to talk to and you feel like you have no one to talk to, you can always check out the Discord link and join the Discord family. Feel free to message me anytime you need. I'm always here to listen. I'm always here to help. Just let me focus on this trigger, and then I'm gonna tell you that there's always someone that cares about you. There's always someone that will listen to you when you have any problem. So just feel free to reach out, and we're always here to help. All right. And enough being nice, we kind of need to beat this Esper control Yorion player, so let's just focus on that for now. Alright, if we get an untapped land, we could leverage our Nissa quite well. We sadly do not. I mean, why do I even try? Let's just activate this ability while we can, and then get 2 Trail of Crumbs triggers. So first trigger, get a land. I mean, he has a Skyclave. I don't think Uru is that good anyways. And then get a Vraska Golgari Queen. Yep, we're just gonna get a Vraska Golgari Queen. Play this land, play this Gilded Goose, pass back to our opponent. Now we have the Vraska. We could have had the Vraska the Vraska Gilded Goose combo. Sadly, we're gonna have to lose it because opponent's probably gonna Yorion and then play Yorion. So now even if we have the Gilded Goose, even if we play the Vraska, it's gonna attack it with Yorion, and then when he attacks, I'm gonna have to block the defender. So we're probably losing here. Vraska, for the very small time period where you're gonna resolve, you're gonna help us a lot. I think we can play this Nissa and play the Vraska, making it a bit harder for our opponent to know what he does. So let's see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mana, and then I can exactly generate 4 mana with Nissa to play the Vraska, kill the Skyclave. Yeah, I think that's the plan. I think that is the plan indeed. So do this. Let's untap this Zagoth Triome once again. Make black green. Play this Vraska. Now we're gonna kill off this Skyclave. So Sultai Sacrifice acting more like a Sultai Super Friends deck. And we're gonna pass. He could just have a board wipe right now, but I'm not expecting a Flicker deck to play that many board wipes, am I? Although he does have a Teferi in hand, so conflicting emotions right now. Alright, he's attacking this Vraska probably. Alright, so we're gonna defend our Vraska for sure. Pass the blockers. I'm gonna probably activate the Goose to get something out of this. So sacrifice to get mana, it doesn't really matter what I get. Pay the one, definitely. Alright, how many cards do I have engraved? I only have one, but I mean Uro is better than a land, so why am I even thinking about this? So let's do this. Alright. What is our opponent planning on playing? Teferi, tucking away our Nissa, Narset, confusing, conflicting emotions. Sure, Teferi, sure. Tuck away the Nissa. Yep. Alright, Teferi, sure. Now let's just plus this Vraska, sacrifice this food, and now we can pay 1 mana, and we draw a Nissa. Let's just pay 1 mana, get the Witch's Oven, play this Nissa. Sadly, I'm not gonna be able to do everything, but we're gonna do a lot of stuff. Sadly, I don't have a black sword, a land that can produce, a forest that can produce mana. Like, so we don't have the option to play Familiar and play Witch's Oven. I mean, we still have a Chandra that's, Nissa that's pressuring him, so like, at least we're in a good position. Attack. Attack. Alright, let's just play this Witch's Oven. And let's just end our turn. I mean, sadly, Vraska is gonna go away, but we still have an active Nissa on the field. We have our options. We have our options there. And sadly, I think we took away our ability to play Uro, because if he board wipes, we're simply just losing Uro. Opponent is gonna attack Vraska. Yep. Right? And then follow that up by a board wipe, it seems. Alright, where's the board wipe, opponent? Where's the board wipe? Just show me the board wipe. Show me the board wipe. Don't play with my emotions like that. Just play it. Atchis is fine, honestly. Target me, sure. Let's try to get away the board wipe. I mean, please take the land on the Yorion. Please take the land on the Yorion. Please take the land on the Yorion. Yes, yes, opponent. Yes. Alright, I mean, we're trying to survive at this stage. We're just simply trying to survive. Thought Erasure. I mean, whatever he takes away, I'm fine. I'm really fine. I'd probably take out Uro. Yep. Exactly as expected. And do we have lethal? We have 11 damage currently, so even if I get to reveal a, what's her name? Why am I forgetting things that easily? I think I'm getting old. Yeah, so even if we get the ability to get a Vraska, we still cannot deal with this board. So let's just sacrifice this, sacrifice the food. We're gonna have a Trail of Crumbs trigger, pay 1 for it, get a land. Not the worst, honestly. Do this whole loop thing again. Do it again. Let's see what we get. Yeah, sure, let's pay for that. One more oven seems like the best kind of play, honestly. We're getting so much card advantage right now. Let's just play this Breeding Pool untapped. Pay for it. I meant to tap the Breeding Pool, honestly. Let's just sacrifice this. Return it. And then now we get to pay 1, sure, I mean, doesn't really matter. Get a Fabled Passage. Now let's just plus turn this into a land and attack with everything. I mean, a land is probably going away, this is like for sure. And we're dealing a bunch of damage. I mean, we just need to get 1 Cauldron Familiar trigger and it's over for our opponent, and we do it. We win game 1 and the deck has been going very, very strong. I'm very proud of this deck. Bringing in the Thoughtseizes for sure, bringing in the Noxious Grasp for sure, Negate seems good. Aether Gust is not in, just force of habit. And I think we can take out the Fatal Pushes. I don't think they're gonna do much. Uro is, I think, a bit weak against this matchup. And what else? What else? I mean, I think I'm gonna take out one Nissa because there's probably gonna be like 6 Aether Gusts coming in. I mean, I know he can only bring in 4, but like, you know what I mean. You know what I mean. Strong showing from this deck. I can see why it's loved by a lot of people. This familiar combo with Nissa and Trail of Crumbs is super interesting, where you get to loop this many multiple times. An interesting showing from the deck. I still prefer the Drowned Sacrifice version of it, just because it has more leverage against aggro decks using Claim the Firstborn or using Mayhem Devil to kind of ping away things. But I do like this deck, not gonna deny that. Like, it did some sweet things in game 1, and then whatever the end result of this, I think this deck is kind of fine. Would I put it on tier 1? Probably not, but again, as I mentioned in the intro, this deck is popular, it's on ladder, a lot of people think it's the next big thing, so might as well show it. Alright, opponent taking his sweet time to sideboard. I mean, this is the benefit of playing a rogue deck or something that's not as popular. People don't understand what the hell you're doing, so like, they side in sometimes very random things. Although, let's be honest, I think we can expect Craftigger's Cage, that's like for sure. You can expect 2 or 3 copies of Aether Gust also for sure. And then I think that should be it. Alright, I mean, yeah, I'm a bit tired, forgive me for that. Let's see what our opponent does. Nice. Alright, Thoughtseize, Trail of Crumbs, Nissa. I think I'm gonna keep this hand. Does the opponent start with a turn 1 Thoughtseize? That is the question. The answer is no. I mean, you can still play Thought Erasure next turn. Pass back to our opponent. Alright, opponent, is this turn 2 Thought Erasure? Is it? It is not. Alright, so we're just gonna Thoughtseize our opponent. What do you have in hand? Unmoored Ego. Glass Casket, Absorb. I don't mind the Glass Casket, but I do mind the Unmoored Ego, so we're just gonna take that away. We're just gonna play our land, and we're gonna bait out the Absorb next turn with a Trail of Crumbs. Alright, actually we can bait it out with a Witch's Oven. We're gonna play Uro into Witch's Oven, bait it out, have a clear and empty lineup for Nissa. Alright, now this Uro resolves. Play this land, and now we're gonna just bait it out with a Witch's Oven. Alright, usually a Witch's Oven eats the counter. Let's see if this happens now. Does it eat it? It does, and now hopefully we have like a clear cut, a clear way open for Nissa. Alright, let's just play this land. Actually, I'm gonna keep the Fabled Passage for next turn, because if Nissa does resolve, Fabled Passage with Nissa is quite a good combo. Does Nissa resolve, or did he top deck? He top decked a counter spell. I mean, guys, we tried. I did my best to leverage my cards to make sure that our Nissa resolves, but she did not, sadly. Good news is we get to resolve a Trail of Crumbs, and that we almost need one more card for potentially Uro. Alright, and now we get another Trail of Crumbs. I'm gonna get a blue source, so we have enough for Uro. And we get to play double Trail of Crumbs, or I think we're just gonna play one for now. Activate, so maybe I can hit a Trail of Crumbs. Let's just pay one. Not a Trail of Crumbs, I meant the Oven. Alright, we did play land for turn, so I think I'm gonna get the Strider, and I'm not gonna play the Cauldron Familiar because I think it's just gonna eat a Glass Casket. Although that takes away Yorion from him, so I think we're gonna go do that. I wanna take out his Yorion turn. Pass back to our opponent. So let's see. Again, if our opponent goes for Glass Casket, he can't Yorion, which is enough for me, honestly. Alright, Narset Part of Evades is fine. Alright. Gravedigger's Cage. Gravedigger's Cage would be, I mean, I don't know like how to describe how backbreaking a Gravedigger's Cage would be, but it would be pretty backbreaking. Dovin's Veto is kind of okay. Is this time for Glass Casket opponent? I mean, I wish he goes for Glass Casket because then I'd have a clear path towards resolving this Trail of Crumbs. Alright, you can Thoughtseize away this Dovin's Veto, attack the Narset. Narset then has to activate and then she dies. But then we get to ensure that we resolve an Uro and the we get to ensure that we resolve a Trail of Crumbs, so that's fine with me. Thoughtseize probably gonna eat this Veto, right? Unless opponent really plans his turn and really thinks about what we could have. Alright, sadly not what I expected. Cauldron Familiar attack this Narset. And now we can get to leverage our Trail of Crumbs. Pass the turn back to our opponent. I could have activated Trail of Crumbs on my turn, tried to get into exactly Witch's Oven and a land, but I don't think it's this easy, so I didn't go for that. Quite an interesting play from our opponent, taking away our our sad cat, because like now I get to resolve Uro. You don't have an easy way to deal with Uro. Could have waited one more turn maybe to get 2 Trail of Crumbs activations, but I don't want to wait that much. Uro is a fine card, but like we already have enough to escape Uro. I think I'd just rather get the land, honestly. Goose is an insane top deck, although it's gonna probably eat a Heartless Act. But if it does, opponent can't kill Uro, so I wonder what he wants to kill exactly. And I mean, even if she's dead, we did get a food out of the transaction. Let's just get away these. And like if we're drawing 2 cards per turn, I don't know how long opponent can keep up. Alright, Uro is probably not long for this world, is it? Yep, exactly. Pass back to our opponent, try to get Uro again. Let's see. I mean, this game would have been so different if opponent didn't top deck Veto to just destroy our Nissa. He's looking at my Trail of Crumbs. Please don't do anything to my Trail of Crumbs. Teferi, I mean, Teferi is not fine, but can't do anything to stop that, can I? Sure, Teferi, I'm holding that thought. Alright, land, telling us that for sure there's no interaction. We can maybe resolve a key spell this turn. Maybe a Bolas' Citadel. I'd wish to draw a Bolas' Citadel right now. It would be insane. Where we don't do that. Let's just activate this. We're gonna have to pay this. Get a Nissa. That's cool. Please get a land, although no, never mind, a land doesn't really give us Nissa anyways. And a backup Nissa or a land. Backup Nissa or a land. I think we just get backup Nissa. And now we get to play this Woe Strider. And now we pass the turn back to our opponent. I mean, Teferi on the field doesn't take a while for it to kind of take over the game. And I'm still pissed at Nissa not resolving because of a top deck Veto after I forced exactly all of my opponent's interaction. Still pissed about that, guys. Yorion is fine. It's probably gonna reset Narset. And I think it's only gonna reset Narset because like giving me back the Cauldron Familiar doesn't do anything. Alright, Thirst for Meaning. That means that he needs to have exactly Veto to deal with minuses. Alright, opponent, what did you top deck? I mean, we really need, or we really want the Citadel. Citadel takes over the game. Literally, like, in the same exact turn. Opponent thinking very hard, which tells me that maybe he doesn't have it. Sure, Narset comes back. I mean, he untapped white and blue, but I mean, that doesn't tell me that he has veto. It just means that maybe he's good at faking having veto. Do you have veto, opponent? That is the question. He does not have the veto. That's good for us. What's the best play right now? I mean, untapping a forest, playing this Witch's Oven, sacrificing sacrificing a goat with Witch's Oven, activating this ability, and then paying with the forests. Alright, that's amazing. And then maybe a forest to top it all off. Fabled Passage, that's amazing, but Vraska is also good. Vraska is gonna take a full turn. Did I play land for turn? I don't think I did. Let's just get this Fabled Passage, play this land, go fetch up a forest. And now we can cycle away this Triome, or we could play this Trail of Crumbs, set up for next turn. In the long run, I think setting up Trail of Crumbs is better, so let's just do that. And now we just pass the game back to our opponent and wish for the best. Opponent trying to draw into a way to deal with Nissa, and he whiffs, that's good. Plus the fairy. I mean, what did I bottom? Alright, I remember bottoming a Vraska. Elspeth Conquers Death is annoying. Sure, first Nissa gone. I mean, Nissa already did enough, it's okay. And then a Trail of Crumbs goes away, right? 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 I mean, opponent, does a Trail of Crumbs go away? Do you take the goose? I mean, anything beyond Trail of Crumbs just stays, so I don't think he'd go for that. Yep, Trail of Crumbs is gone. What would be an amazing top deck right now besides Citadel? Right, opponent just laid everything out on the table. He's telling me, okay, I don't have a veto. Do you think Chromium? Castle Locthwain, not really what I wanted to see, honestly. I'm just gonna play this Nissa. Okay, what's the best play right now? I mean, currently we're producing 5 mana. We can't even pay for Citadel even if we top it. I think we're just gonna try to go once again. We're gonna spin the wheel with this Trail of Crumbs. Sure. Witch's Oven is insane. We just need a cat. That's all we're missing in this stupid combo. I don't think Strider is doing that much. We can discard one of them to kind of try to go a little deeper. We're still not achieving any card advantage. Right now we're just like filtering through our deck. Cycle. Let's pay one, sure. Finally get the cat. Is it too late? I don't think so. Another goose is fine. Pass the turn back. I mean, the fairy ulti is next turn, which is probably something we're gonna stop by attacking with all of our Nissa lands. It's still something scary if you think about it. Actually, we can't even stop the fairy from ulting with our Nissa lands because opponent can simply activate Castle Arden Vale, create a token to block. Narset, does she hit anything? She hits a Shark Typhoon. Opponent's probably gonna hardcast Shark Typhoon, giving us one turn to maybe try to resolve something. Opponent draws a card with the fairy. Hardcast Shark Typhoon. Skyclave to take a Trail of Crumbs. And then like now our hopes of killing Teferi, preventing it from ulting, are quite low now. Unless we top deck. I don't even know what we could top deck to stop it. Push, we sided out our pushes. We kept, I think, our Maelstrom Pulse. So maybe Maelstrom Pulse, the Teferi, is the only bet that we have right now. And like, we're not winning any game where Teferi ultis. Let's like make sure that we make this very clear for both of us. So hard casting, opponent hard casting Shark Typhoon. Me top decking. Alright, opponent shows me that he has a land. He's not hard casting Shark Typhoon, as it seems. He's attacking Nissa, making a potential top deck. Do I even protect Nissa? Thing is, if like he ultis the fairy, Nissa is dead next turn anyway. So like I don't think we're gonna protect her. No. Alright, we need to top deck something scary next turn. If he activates the castle, he can make a one. He could cost him 4 mana. He goes for it. So his plan is to protect this Teferi and make sure that it ultis. That's what we're trying to stop. And now he has access to 4 blockers. We only have access to 3 attackers. We need something big, and we need it now. I tried guys. Very sorry for this turn of events. We tried our best to deal with this. I tried my best to scry into the Citadel that just did not want to show up. It just did not want to show up. So excuse me for that. Excuse me for being tilted, but I mean, I kind of deserve to get tilted in my opinion after all of this. I mean, opponent, I played perfectly the first 3 turns. Opponent had to have this Stoven's Veto top deck that stopped our Nissa from winning. And then opponent got lucky to the degree that even after all of what I did, Citadel was not in my top 30 cards. So I kind of deserve to get tilted, honestly. So opponent, D-Nice C. I mean, I still enjoyed the game, honestly. I like this deck. I'm fine with the control matchup. I don't like hate the control matchup in any kind of way. But that was still annoying series of turns, and we get a horrible hand, and we get another horrible hand. Just my luck. I think we can bottom this basic. Play our Triome. Play this land and pass. Play this untapped basic. I mean, play this untapped room. Play which is oven. Play which is oven. Pass. I mean, of course I draw a multiple series of lands. Why not? I mean, that's exactly what Magic is. A game about drawing a bunch of lands. Yeah, sure, one of the C can resolve. Alright. Scrying 2 top doesn't really give me a lot of confidence that we're winning this. Alright, let's just play this land, try to resolve this cat. Opponent, does cat resolve? I mean, it's your ball, that's cat resolve. You didn't see anything, I don't think so, I think we find this. One thing very much, this is our Cauldron Familiar, so I think that's quite afraid of. I'm just interested in it. I mean, I don't want to go that way. I really don't want to go that way. I mean, I don't think it's Alright, I mean, what's happening? Just a cat. Alright, so opponents, your timer is running out. I mean, so that's also fine in the end. Just turn. I didn't try to activate Cauldron Familiar, because the cat won't respond to the activation. So it's not opponents to the scenes. I mean, I won't do that, just afraid of in my opinion. Opponents, please, like, play something. I want to do it for everyone. I don't need to win because it's I just hope that when it comes back, I want to say, I'm just being win this way. I don't think we're really mad already. I mean, usually you get happy when you win this, but after you do the structure of games, that good one I hate when someone gets. It's simply the worst feeling to just lose the game, because you're going to on you. I'm just going to do the things again. I don't want to get hold up, so I'm going to keep pushing the response to something. Opponent, please do something. Alright, it doesn't seem like we're going to be able to get our opponent through. And sadly, opponent discarded a playable, which is Narset. So let's see. I mean, opponent has, I think, less than 8 seconds. Let's just do the countdown together. So I think this is 5. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Does he make it back? Is this the comeback? Is this the comeback? Is it the comeback? It is not, sadly. I mean, I'm quite sorry. I think it's either that opponent has a cat phobia, so like as soon as Cauldron Familiar resolved, he just simply gave up on everything, or it's just the Christmas miracle and we just won this game. Guys, I wanted to thank you so much for watching. Sorry that this last game ended up this way, but I mean, just what happened. Thank you for my friend that submitted the Sultai Sacrifice list as part of my series 14 Days of Christmas. And again, I wanted to wish all of you a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. If you're not celebrating, just have a nice day. If you need anyone to talk to, the Discord family is always here. I'm always available to help. Beyond that, thank you once again for watching. If you want to help the channel, please like, comment, and subscribe. If you want to help the channel beyond that, you can check out my Patreon link in the description down below. And speaking of patrons, I wanted to thank them for making my content possible, and a huge shout out to Ironmark Mac. With that, I'll see you guys next time.